you know.
And it's a large company, and you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
hard to find a large company.
Well, it's a good thing they responded, and I don't know what kind of what the guy from corporate what he said exactly what he said to them or what sway he has over them because obviously the corporate shop doesn't dictate what the independents do. I mean, I think the independents probably have to fall under the corporate umbrella to a degree.
Right.
And then after that, I think they're an independent dealer. It's probably this is probably right up Brian's wheelhouse because it probably falls into what his situation is, being that he represents Matco Tools, but he's an independent dealer.
Mhm.
So and we've heard the horror stories. We've heard all sorts of stuff. So yeah, he may have some insight on that as to what
Right.
happens. But well, that's good. At least you did get the outcome. You are getting the outcome that you need. But
Yeah.
it sucks that you have to threaten a lawsuit. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, and then I start thinking about how people go in these places and shoot up the place or tear up the place or
Right.
it's craziness because especially when you're out on the road, you're already stressed that you're driving somewhere.
Yeah.
You're worrying about breaking down. You do break down, that's a whole nother stress. Then you got to pay money that you really don't usually don't have. You know what I
Right.
mean? Now you're
Right.
stressed about that, and then you go down the road again a little bit further, and the same thing happens.
With these trips I've been taking down south to see my daughter, uh, people ask me, I just ask questions like, "Oh, what car do you take?" I'm like, "Nah, I rent the car." What do you mean? With all the cars you got?
Hmm.
It was a couple of years ago. I was going to take the cruise, and my love hate relationship with that car and the evap and the plastic, all the plastic parts. And I was getting the car ready. Everything was cool, and we were going to go that following like maybe in like 3 or 4 days. And damn, another plastic part broke under the hood, and I'm like, "That's it. We're not taking this car anywhere. I'm fixing it up. I'll fix that part. It stays here. We're renting the car." Because all I got to do is find an enterprise now and go
Yeah.
into any enterprise and say, "This thing sucks. Give me another car." You
Yep.
know,
Yep. If
uh,
you break down, they'll send you out another one. Yep.
peace of mind. Like you said, traveling is stressful enough. You have maybe a time constraint. Maybe you don't. But you have traffic. You have all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff on your mind. Let's face it. Even if you're traveling for pleasure, it can be stressful. The
Yep.
traveling part, as Vince knows, because he sent me a picture of the I-81 South marker this morning on his trip south, which he knows my love-hate relationship with that road. But he was in a truck, so he was okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like you said, now in your case, now it's compounded because you're not driving a Silverado, you're not driving an F-150, you're driving a bus,
Yep.
and even though those things are not uncommon, they're not as common as as a regular passenger car. Or I know my buddy from the shop has a motorhome, and he's gotten stuck in campgrounds. He's had issues with that thing too, and to try and get service, you usually deal with independent shops, and you
Mhm.
hope. And he's had a couple lawsuits. He's had to sue people over stuff, and
It's crazy. They just take advantage of you being on the road.
I wonder. I guess sometimes that could be it. I don't think they set up shop thinking, oh, it's like the old days where
Yeah.
the guy comes out and he's got like the ring with the razor blade on it to cut the hose, and he's got the Alka-Seltzer tablet for the battery, like they did in the
Yeah.
50s. I don't know if guys are really. I'd like to think they're not stalking people like that. Um, I think it's just the general business sense, and it's almost like people's nature is to take advantage of other people
Yeah.
if they can,
No
which
common courtesy.
we've all seen that. Uh, and truthfully, that's why I go out of my way to do stuff for people that I don't have to do, or especially like if it's a friend. Like I'm not charging you, dude. You're a friend. I'll
Right.
make it on somebody else. It's just karma. I look at it. It's just karma.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and or I'd be at the shop and somebody will, a woman will roll in and she's got a problem. You can see she's in distress. There's a problem. I mean, I guess some guys maybe that's when their teeth bleed and they say, "Wow, I'm gonna make $1,000 on this lady. I'm gonna sell her all this shit." Man, I go the opposite way. I can't do that. It's like I'll go out of my way to help them. Um, but then you gotta be careful because you go too far. Now they want to own you. Now they want to
Mhm.
they want you to do everything. They want you to fix everything that's wrong. When now listen, I want to address this one problem.
Right. My
I just
daughter, I had my mechanic. put new ball joints, some other stuff on my daughter's car, like the whole front end stuff,
Uh-huh.
And so we needed a front wheel alignment because when you put that new
Hold
stuff
on
on.
for a moment.
So I send her to a tire company here to get it done, and they tell her that, oh, you need these parts, this, and this, and she knows that these parts were just put on because that's why she's there. But they tried to say, before we do the alignment, you need these parts.
Wow.
So she calls me. She goes, Dad, they're saying I need all these new parts. Isn't this what I just got put on? I was like, yeah. I was like, you know what? I know the owner. Yeah. I was like, hold on. So I know the owner. So I called the owner. I was like, hey, I don't know if it's you or if it's one of your workers telling my daughter that's there right now, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, man, I'm sorry. Let me call up there. And he wasn't there. But I was like, you know me for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm coming up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's not right. That's right, not right.
Yeah.
And that shows you that girls, women in general, are vulnerable, and it sucks that these guys. I mean, listen, there's a front end shop that I deal with. I get all my tires from them. I've had them do my alignments. I was having them do my inspections, and I know the owner. And I know the guys in the shop, but there was a guy at the counter, and those guys kind of change over once in a while. And one day, the owner wasn't there, and I needed a tire pressure sensor for my daughter's car, so I brought the wheel in. They put it in, and then I go up to settle a bill. I said, okay, what's going to cost? And they gave me a shop rate because I work in the shop and we're an account. He says, oh, well, yeah, it's $125. What? I kind of like, huh? Like, I brought the wheel in off the car. Like, they didn't take the wheel off the car or anything. But I figured, all right, you know what? I'm not going to argue with you. I said, okay, that's the price. I gave him the money. And then I was going to talk to him for a minute. And I noticed, like, man, he didn't go over to the cash register right away. He didn't give me a receipt. And I kind of watched and I waited and I left. And I said, I just had a bad feeling, like the back of my neck. Like, where'd that buck and a quarter go? That probably went in his pocket. Or, where he put 40 in the register and kept the rest.
Right.
And I wasn't sure because I didn't see it. But I just had that feeling. So I got a hold of the owner the next day and I said to him, listen, I said, I got to tell you something. I said, I don't want to rat this guy out. I don't know that he did something wrong, but this is what happened. And it's just my spidey sense. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I just want to let you know because it's your shop and he's representing you. So he said, wow, thanks for telling me. And about a week later, he calls me. He says, I think, this guy's been, he's been screwing around. They ended up firing him. There was a new guy on the desk. Mm-hmm. So when I asked the owner, I'm like, wow, what happened over here? He said, yeah, basically what he was doing. He goes, I don't know the extent of what he was doing, but I do know that when customers would come in and have work done, a lot of times they want to leave a tip for the mechanic, the guy in the shop, but they don't feel comfortable going back into the shop or, whatever. So they give it to the guy in the counter when they pay the bill. Here, give this to the guy in the back. Well, they maybe gave him a 10. He was giving the guy in the back maybe $5 or like $3. He was skimming off the tips. And he found out because one of the customers talked to the guy in the back like the week later and says, oh, yeah, by the way, did you get the money I left for you? Oh, yeah, well, yeah, thanks. And I guess the guy told him, I left you, gave you 10. Or whatever it was. I don't know.
Right.
So they put it together and the workers got together, went up, and like told this guy, like, you owe us a lot of money, dude. Like, God, how long have you been doing that? Mm-hmm. So they fired him. So you can't even trust the guys in your own shop sometimes, Yeah,
it's crazy. Everybody wants something for nothing.
Yeah, it's that greed. It's he's stealing from the guys that he works with, and I guess he felt, well, I'm on the counter, so maybe felt like, well, I'm like the shop manager. You're just the mechanic, so I should be getting. How come I don't get a tip? I'm putting the job together. No, what you're doing is, you're doing the front end work. These guys are doing the actual, the actual physical mechanical work. They deserve the tip. So, yeah. So you see it all. You really do. And now compound that with being out of state, people you don't know, and all bets are off.
Yep, crazy.
So maybe that's why having a national warranty is a good idea. that you could use to claim repairs on. I don't know. I've heard the good and bad about that too. You know.
Yeah. I had a warranty on. I think I had it on my F-150, which it turned out to be pretty good. It was one of those extended warranties, but it costs a lot of money.
Right.
They put it in my loan, but I ended up getting my money back because I got a lot of stuff done to the truck. But
it's like life insurance. Like, you're saying I'm going to get hit by a bus and die, and they're saying, no, you're going to live for 100 years. So that's really what how that's set up. My chiropractor had a Chrysler minivan. He bought it used off a lot, and he got the extended warranty. And man, they rebuilt this thing twice under this warranty. And he told me, he says, never buy an American vehicle without an extended warranty. I wish I had one on the cruise. I really do. I should have got it years ago, and I didn't. And I could have used it. But
I mean, you never know, because sometimes it's a scam, sometimes it's good. I mean, it's a 50-50 every time.
Now, I got a buddy who runs a transmission shop here in town. Been in business a long time. And he tells me that guys come in with every warranty under the sun. He goes, I get those freaking Car Shield people. He says, and then you got to call them. He says, and he said, the warranty companies are bad because, well, he learned how to play the game. If parts just, wore out in the transmission, they're not covering it. They say, well, that's normal wear and tear. Yeah, but the thing only has like 25,000 miles on it. Now it's considered normal wear and tear. We don't cover that. So it's got to be a broken part. So guess who has a collection of broken parts laying around that they can show, play the game. Right? We're going to play the game. We're going to play the game on both sides. But he said it's the insurance companies now that hang him up a lot, and they want to send out an adjuster, or they want to do this or that. And now the car, I've been in his shop. He's got 4 or 5 lifts in a row, and he's had vehicles on all of them, and every single one of them, the guts are hanging out. They're SUVs or bigger vehicles, and the engine cradle is down. The engine's being held in with a strap and a jack stand because the tranny is out. There's a transfer case. I mean, the thing is blown apart. That vehicle is not moving now. It cannot move. It's on a dead lift, and he could have 4 or 5 of those on dead lifts because they're waiting on insurance or whatever. And then he's got guys working on a jack. He's got portable lifts. I mean, it just, everything just exacerbates. So from his perspective, that part of the business is really bad. It sucks. But on the other hand, he does make some good money. And it's tough. Being in business is very hard these days.
It's a hustle.
Yeah.
So I took my bus in on Monday, and they determined. So they said, okay, you need a wiring harness.
Right.
So I was like, all right, just pull it out. I'll do the harness myself. I ordered the harness because it took them 3 days to get the harness.
To get it,
so, yeah. So I ordered one myself, and I was like, just pull it out in the yard. I'll do it myself. So I go back the next day. It's still in the garage. That was Wednesday. So that's when the guy called and said he'll take care of it, and they'll take care of it.
Okay.
So now they said, okay, we're going to take care of it, so we got to order the harness.
Now you got to wait for the part. You're in the same loop I was in, waiting for parts.
Yep. So I ordered the harness, and it comes. And listen to this. So the earlier DT 466 engines, inside the valve cover has a rail that holds the wires to the injectors.
Okay.
Somewhere down the line, they stopped making it with the rail. They just laid it in there. So those wires started breaking because they're moving around.
Right.
Which mine didn't have the rail. So that's probably what happened to the wire, moved around. So then they went back to having the rail.
Okay.
So I ordered the one with no rail because I know mine didn't have a rail.
Oh, yeah.
So the dealership's like, we can't put this one in because it don't have the new rail because it's going to break again.
Right.
So they want to protect their stuff on the warranty and all that, which that makes sense.
It's actually worth the wait. Yeah.
Right. So I had to order the right one, the new one. Yeah. And that came today, but it came today at 3.
Yeah.
That mechanic leaves at 3.
Right.
So now I got to wait another day till tomorrow to get it put together.
That's when patience is a virtue. And you got to say to yourself, listen, okay, screwed up, got the wrong part. I'm bad, didn't know, whatever, had to wait for the other one. It is what it is, because better to wait and then get out on the road than to get out on the road. Well, who knows? The one without the rail, that could last how long? I mean, years, right? I mean, it could take a long time before that thing will wore through. But now
what he was saying is the little plastic clips, they break and that plastic falls down into your motor. He goes, now you got real problems if that happens. I was like,
how is it getting in the motor? Because it's outside the head, right? It's outside or on the intake, right?
Well, it's under the valve cover.
Oh, under the valve cover. Okay.
Yeah, so the injectors are under the valve cover. So this harness is out there, in there.
That's a crazy place for injectors. I mean, just for the heat and the oil.
Yep.
I mean, who the hell designed that?
Yeah, and think about it. You got wires and plugs inside getting oil on it the whole time.
Well, a lot of engines do, because there's variable valve timing and cam sensors. I've seen a bunch of engines that do have some wires inside. But also, what's that going to look like in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? Those wires are going to get brittle and they're going to crack, and there's going to be a problem.
That's probably what's going on with mine. Hold on one second. Let me turn my air on because it's getting hot in
here. Yeah, that's on the engineers at that point, and we know how the engineers like to screw with us.
Yeah. So I'm supposed to be in New York today.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not. I'm still in Ohio. So tomorrow I'll be.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Let me ask you this: Gillen Interiors. What town are they in?
They're in Orange County.
What's that? Yeah.
Orange County, I think.
Orange County. Okay, I know they're in the Hudson Valley. So my buddy has a car. And he's got a '63 Lincoln convertible. So it's a suicide door convertible, nice car. And he wants to have the seat colors changed from black to white, and he wants black piping on the seats. And he also wants to have a console made. So I sent him the link to Gillen, their Instagram link. I said, "This is the guy." Guy, I was telling him today about the wall of thread. I said, "Chris, I haven't been there yet." I said, "But I'll be going with you." I said, "Because I got to see this wall of thread. I could, like it's got to be worth like $100,000. I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, and, I mean, every color.
Yeah, and the shades and all, and I guess I got to ask them, like, if they have that, what the insurance coverage is, because God forbid there's ever a fire. I mean, that stuff is it's going up.
I got a little section. Look at my thread. There's my section of thread.
Okay. Well, listen, you have what you use, Yeah, you have what you use. But I was telling him about that, and he's like, "Yeah, I think that's." So the thing is, I found him a couple local guys, but he needs a place that he can bring the car to, who can take the car. And '63 Lincoln isn't a Volkswagen. It's big. He just wants to drop it off, let him do the job, and then he'll pick it up. And I said, "Okay."
I tell you, every time I watch one of their videos, I learn something new. Because those guys they're really good interior guys, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, without a doubt. So hopefully I'll be getting up there to see what's going on soon too.
Yeah, so I'm going to Bainbridge, New York for a schoolie event. And then we're going to go up to Maine and, see all the states over there.
Nice.
Then I'm going to swing back through and see Terry. So I guess Gil's place isn't too far from Terry.
No, it's close, yeah. Yeah, it's close.
So I'm going to go over there when we stop at Terry's. Probably stay at Terry's at night and then go over to Gil's.
Right. Good. Yeah, let me know what the schedule is. Yeah, this is a good, actually now into the fall is a beautiful time to come up into the Northeast.
Yeah.
Like when the leaves start changing and all, it's gorgeous. It gets cold at night. You're in the mountains, man.
Yeah. So we want to fill up our map on the refrigerator, put our stickers on. So we got to hit those states.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah. Hey, what was the deal with the $20 thing? The $20. What was that all about?
Man, look, we were in where were we at?
Texas?
No, I think we were in West Virginia.
Okay.
No, not West Virginia. We were in Virginia, I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Virginia. And it was it was a small town that had a lot of history. You know, like a lot of the trading and
Sure.
Pocahontas lived there and all kind of stuff, right? So we were walking up through, walking through the thing, and I pulled something out of my pocket, and I had a 20 in my pocket. It fell on the ground. My wife just happened to see it. So my video editing, it grabbed that, and it put it up. That has a lot of hits. It's crazy how many hits I got on that video.
Great, very good, very good, cool.
Yeah.
And, of course, the wife's going to see a 20 on the floor, right?
Oh man, I usually never carry cash, but I just happen to have it because we were going into little gift shops and stuff like that. So I wanted, pay like that.
Yeah.
But I usually don't carry cash because I lose it.
Yeah.
Because I have so much stuff in my pockets. If I don't have my cargo pants on, my everyday carry is in these two pockets, and I got a flashlight, I got a lighter, I got my knife, I got, you know what I mean? Right. I got a whole bunch of stuff always in my pocket. So.
Right. Yeah, I gotcha. So okay. So that answers that question. You like the pocket carry. Use what, a sticky holster?
No. Well, I wear my holster on my hip, on in the waist.
Okay, so it's not you're not pocket carrying. Okay.
No, but I do have a sticky holster though when I carry my little gun when I'm wearing like something shorts or something like that.
Those things work great, man. I have one. Like I wear a vest in the winter, and it's got big pockets, and if I got to go somewhere, like I'll be in the doctor's office or something, like I stick it in the sticky and stick it in the vest pocket. Mm-hmm. But I'm looking at, I think it's Vornado is the company now. They make tactical vests, so it looks just like a regular, like a brown vest, but it's got holsters inside. It's got magazine holders. I'm gonna pick one up this year.
Yeah. So I'm gonna announce this now. I guess me and Arco are gonna do a podcast on survival stuff.
Excellent.
And we're gonna do it this Sunday at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock our time. So 8 o'clock this Sunday, I'll be putting out promotion stuff on it. But we're gonna do like everyday carry, survival stuff. He's really deep into survival things.
Yeah.
And I am a little bit, and I'm more of a urban survival type of guy.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna put them together and see how it works. So our first one is gonna be Sunday at 8 o'clock.
Interesting. Yeah.
Check it out. It's called Concrete and Campfire.
That's cool, because there's definite differences in urban and country. I mean, there's definite differences in how to what you got to do.
So we're gonna have people come on and share what they do on their everyday carry or their survival things, and we want to see what other people do, because everybody does something different, but it could help out, down the line for something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, it definitely pays to talk to people and get other ideas, without a doubt.
Yeah. So I have survival kits in all my vehicles. Like medical, flashlights, hand warmers, knives, stuff like that. Just you never know what could happen.
I watch a lot of stuff. What was the last thing?
Blankets and stuff like that, extra clothes.
I watch a couple of guys on YouTube regularly that do. It's all basic handgun stuff, carry stuff, but they run the gamut, and tactical stuff, and most of them will say the same thing. In your carry gear, you should first thing you should have is a tourniquet. Mm-hmm. Because you don't know if you're gonna need it for you or for somebody else. And they said, and learn how to use it. They said the way to use it is you got to use it. It's got to hurt. If it doesn't hurt, you're not using it right.
Yep.
So that's something that's very, very, and like a lot of times, I noticed with the first responders, they'll have it right in their vest, right up in a pocket, a real easy pocket to get to. Like,
So I have mine on the outside of my kits. So like where you grab the handle of the bag, mine's right there on the outside.
There you go. Yeah.
You see it. I hate to be stuck. You know what I mean? So I carry a lot of stuff I don't have to, but man, when you're out on the road or something, you get stuck, man. It's stuck.
That's something that I'm guilty of, and my wife's always up my back. And I said, you know what? I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah.
And I said, and because I'm bringing it, means I'm probably not going to need it, so that's good, you know. And
yep.
Yeah, but I'm always, like I always said, I was never a Boy Scout, but I sure as hell travel like one. It's like,
yeah,
you
never know, man. I watched the video. A lady was driving and she got in an accident and flipped over into a ditch, but the ditch was only like 3 foot deep, but it was just enough where cars couldn't see her when they were passing by, and she was there for days. You know what I mean?
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And that's all it takes.
And one of the easiest things, and I always take it with me when I'm, mostly all the time, is just just a nice little light, something that can just stick in your pocket. This is a stream light. No, it's a Coast. But these things, they're rugged. This one's all beat up, but they're rugged, and they and so many times you just need that light, just to see something. It's like better than lighting a match. Like no one has matches anymore.
Right.
So
all right, let's get the fellas in and see what they're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of flashlights, I have an Olight.
Okay.
Real nice light, man. And I fought myself for years because I would lose them. So I was like, I'm not spending a lot of money on a light. So I finally did, and I had this light for about 2 years. Love it. I just lost it the other day.
Oh no!
And it had a magnet on the end of it, right? So when I would pull my knife out, it would be stuck to my knife sometimes. And I think that's what happened. I think I pulled my knife out to cut up something, and it fell out. I'm so upset, and it's an expensive light. And I even called the company to become a dealer.
Oh, okay.
So I might be selling them as soon as they get back to me. So I'll let you know.
Nice. Yeah. No, I've been buying lately. In the last couple of years, I bought a bunch of lights, and I was resisting because then that means you either got a bunch of batteries or a bunch of charging you got to do. So the less you have, the better. But I ended up with a lot of stuff. Another one that I like is this is Real Tree. This is it's like a pen light, but the good thing about this, hold it in your mouth. Yeah. It's only about it's like the size of a pretzel. So, and it'll fit in the shirt pocket. Not really in your pants because it's a little longer. I mean, well, you're tall, so you've got big pockets and big legs, so you wouldn't feel it.
Right.
But these are kind of nice because they're slim. So I mean, and I bought a bunch of lights through Brian too. Those lights are really nice. Those are good work lights. The flip lights and all, fantastic work lights.
Yeah. So that's my dilemma this week is losing my flashlight and my bus. I'm homeless. My wife keeps saying you're homeless.
Yeah. Well, right, you're homeless. Yeah, I don't like losing stuff. It upsets me. Hey, Jim.
Oh, we got a stranger in the house. What's up, guys?
Louis. Where'd Ray go?
I don't know. Did I kick him off? I might have kicked him off.
Oh, what's up, guys?
Hey. Jim.
Ray said, "What? Hey, Jim," and then disappeared.
Yeah. I would take care of you.
There he is. There he is.
Justin, look who shows up.
He's back.
All right.
Yeah, stranger.
Nice.
Ray.
Stranger danger.
Oh, definitely danger.
Yes, Vin?
I've been called stranger, too.
I'm
Justin,
sorry.
you're traveling around to all the car shows? You're posting a lot of stuff.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, man. You've been posting a lot of stuff.
Pretty busy. We had a couple pretty decent car shows lately, so been getting quite a bit. Did Woodward.
Yeah, looking good. Thanks for sharing.
Sent it to me earlier, so you have the con back.
Okay, good. Excellent.
And I left Virginia just the way I found it.
Good. I like to do the same thing. I like to leave Virginia.
I went through I went through Fancy Gap twice today.
Okay.
Once in the fog as the sun was coming up, and about 3 hours later.
Okay, so that was a quick trip.
Well, I overnighted in hometown USA there, and then it was only 82 miles. So, oh God, it's the town that Mayberry is actually.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
See, that's
God.
the cool thing. You get to actually lay over in those towns. Like when I'm traveling, I'm just going through, and if I see the sign, I see the sign, and I say, I got to stop there one day. I'm never going to stop. You know, it's like I'm going. I got a destination, man. I'm hitting it.
Well, honestly, the only reason I overnighted in that kills me because I can't think of the name. It's the little town in North Carolina is because it's about a 6 hour and some change run one way. So I either get nailed going or coming back. So last night it was like, you know what? Let me just get up there.
I go past the place every time off 77. I pass it all the time when I come in that way, and I see it. I'm like, oh yeah, a friend of mine had stopped there and did a whole big thing a couple of years ago, posted pictures, and I was like, oh, and I'm going past it. But again, I got a destination, and by that point, I'm in the state, so I'm within like an hour of hitting my final destination, which means I'm already like 10 hours in. So last thing I'm thinking of doing is stopping unless I got to pee.
Yeah, let me.
So.
Yeah, let me throw some light on here. I'm not going to be on long. I got another early delivery in Charlotte. So
okay.
Tuesday it was Memphis. Yesterday or this morning was Blacksburg, Virginia, and then tomorrow Charlotte.
Okay. Whereabouts in Charlotte you got to go?
I don't know. I hadn't even looked at it too much. It's one of those things. It's I got to be there at a certain time, and the box is already pulled. So.
Oh yeah.
Let me throw some light on here so I don't look like I'm in witness protection.
Yeah, right. No, you look good. You got plenty of light.
Yeah, you're good.
So I got the part of the week today for the Brain Trust. Somebody dropped this off to me today. This is a Rochester
mechanical fuel injection.
It's a carburetor. He told me it was a side draft. So I don't know. I don't see this. I don't see it mounting this. I don't know. The problem is it would have had a tag on it. I looked in my quick reference stuff, and from what I see, it's not. I think it's got to be at least from the 40s. Wow. So it looks like that's the first thing I thought. It looked like the mechanical fuel injection top. I got to pull this top apart and see what's in there. So
kind of neat.
I looked at my I don't know, and he says that the guy that had him had a couple of them.
What kind of vehicle was it on?
I don't know. He picked up a guy where he was at, gave him a couple of quadrajets, and he said he had like a bunch of these. I was like, a bunch of them? So he left me this one. He says, yeah, you can have this one. There's like, what is it? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 screws hold this top on. So
he'll be here till the after show.
Yeah, I'm gonna take them apart. Well, like I said, I looked in my Rochester books, and I don't even see a picture of it. I think it's at least 40s. Got to be, which could make it a flathead. I don't know.
Speaking of carburetors, Brian from Summit Racing that's came on the show a couple times.
Yeah.
He has a V Max. I don't know what year it is, but I think it's the same carburetors that I have on my 87 Venture, and he's redoing those carbs.
Are those Maconis? Are those the CVs? CV style?
I don't know.
They got the big chrome cover on top.
Yeah.
Or they be Maconis with the slides in them.
I think it's the chrome on the top.
I think everything after the 80s went CV. That's because it's like if you look at a Holly with a vacuum secondary, that's how that works. It's the same idea. They use vacuum to pull the slide up.
Okay.
So that's probably what that is. And then, those I got a couple of those in the shed, and the guys with the Harleys always pulled them off and went back to went always to a like an S&S or something more performance, which is like taking off your your Rochester and putting on a Harley on a street car. It's the same idea.
Right.
But the CVs can be made to work, and guys have run them in race classes and been very successful. So again, it's just like it's like the quadjet. It gets a name on the street, and then everybody is like, "Oh, you got to get this off of here. It's a piece of crap."
Yeah.
Mount Airy, Ray.
Mount Airy, yes, the Mount Airy Lodge.
That's where I like I said, I overnighted right there.
Wow.
Exit 100 off 77. There's a big pilot right there.
This is what's inside. Look at this. It's just this giant bowl.
Yeah. Well, a lot of fuel.
Super clean. I got to take these other two screws off. Hang on. I got this two more screws.
Is that air or fuel capacity?
It's kind of the air chamber. It's where the air valve goes in.
Because that's what I was saying. Looks like a little too big to be a float bowl.
That's a hell of a float bowl.
That's that red green float bowl.
Okay. All right. So this piece, the top piece, does come apart. Here's the float.
There, yeah. Okay. There's your.
This has to be the float bowl here. Yeah. So it's and the jets. I see jets in the bottom. So this is the float bowl that sits in. But that I see what it does. The air comes in here. Right. Comes in this chamber. I must swirl around, and the fuel comes out the bottom of this piece, and then the air charge coming in takes that fuel and sends it down through these tiny little Venturis. But that might have been for all I know, whatever car this came on might have had two of these. Maybe it was a hot rod Buick or something from the 50s.
There you go.
Yeah, that's true.
Very, very interesting. No numbers whatsoever. I just got jets.
Not even on the body, like no. You know how the Rochester had that funny R?
Yeah.
No,
this one
stamp or whatever.
I when I don't see a number like a quadrijet, I immediately think it has to have a tag. It would have a tag under one of the screws.
Even on the body, like some kind of casting or whatever. Must be a classic J.C. Whitney catalog special.
No, I can see right here on the side. You can't really see it, but right here there is a casting, and it says GM Carburetor, Rochester Products Division, blah blah blah.
Okay.
So it is a Rochester.
You can take a picture of it and Google the picture.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, and the base plate has a number, but that's just the part number for the base plate.
I did a search, and I found one that looks like it. 1949 to 50 Oldsmobile, Rochester.
And Oldsmobile makes sense because the guy that brought it to me is in the Olds Club, and the two quadrojets he brought me, one was from a 71 to 73 Olds, and the other was from a 75 to a 79 Olds. So it makes sense this would be an Oldsmobile. So you Googled the picture?
No, I just typed in old Rochester carburetor.
Oh. So how does that work? How do you, pardon my ignorance.
So when you go on
I just went on Google. I just looked at pictures. I looked at images.
No, I'm saying that, like what Luce was saying, you can upload a picture, right?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go on the Google Chrome, and in the search, when you type in the address, sometimes you'll see a little camera in that bar. You can click on that.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
You hit your camera, Ray. You're a little blurry. Or I had too much tequila.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're right. You know what? I think that was because it was it went full screen. Let me try and reset it.
Must be a witness protection.
Yeah.
How's your truck run, Brian?
We're not going to talk about it.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
I feel your pain, bro. I feel you. Mine's in the shop right now.
Well,
We're
Ray,
homeless. Me and my wife are homeless.
Lewis, I found an FLD. The boys got
Oh,
it
yeah?
for sale. It's running 12.7 and a 10-speed, $2,500.
Really? Wait, what is it again?
FLD 120.
LD 120.
I'll send you the link.
Does it have the condo on it? That's what I used to have. FLD condo.
I think it's got the 42 or the 36-inch bunk. It's got a smaller bunk with an air dam on it, but it's a running 12.7 for $2,500.
Wow.
I sent that to a friend of mine who they had. I was telling you about them. They had the Amazon Chinesium water pump, and after about 2 weeks, that when the impeller or when the shaft broke, and it dumped that stuff in the front of that Detroit where the bull gear's at, and it destroyed everything in there. So,
wow.
But knock on wood, they've got it all the damage pulled apart. They've got to pull the pan, and they've got it all the front end put back together, but they got to pull the pan,
right?
Clean all that stuff up, and then hopefully they'll be back on the road.
That's good,
because they've been driving somebody else's truck, because kind of like in that same situation where you were in, when it happened, they shut it off, and then they go, okay, we know where it's at. We need to have it towed, and they took it to a shop, and they're like, we can't look at it yet. So, they bounced around for like 2 different shops after sitting for 2 or 3 months. We'll get to it. It's like, no, you've had it for 2 months.
Right. That's terrible.
Yeah, Lewis, if you think it's bad at a dealership, break down on the road and see how bad them boys try to. Of course, I mean, you rent cars, you know what it's like to be out there on the road and something happened. They think you're just a sucker.
Yep.
No, they see a money pit.
Yep, they do.
Well, they're smart enough, Papa Squirrel, to realize that you've got to go. So
little picture always right.
Okay.
See the little camera on there, Ray?
Yes.
So you click on that, and then it'll open up where you can
upload the image. Cool.
Yeah.
It makes it easy on the cell phone, because you got the camera. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I found one online. It looks like that, remanufactured, $650.
Yeah, baby. Nice.
Ray's that got like a 2GC base on it?
It does have a 2-barrel base with small Venturis. They're only like I'm gonna say 5/8, maybe more than 5/8 of an inch. Let me see.
Well,
Venturis on the bottom are, oh no, it's over an inch. I'm gonna say it's 1 inch and 3/8. So that's like, it's kind of like quadrajet territory, but only 2 of them.
No, so how big was a 50s Oldsmobile engine? 300 something inches, 200 something inches?
Yeah, but like I said, some of those motors, back in the 50s, they did have multi-carb engines, and even the predecessor of the quadrajet, the WCFB, they use those on the dual quad Corvettes and on dual quad Cadillacs, and they had small Venturis. They were small. They were only like 450 CFM carburetors, and they used them in the dual carb applications. So now I'm full of carburetor rust and dust. I feel right at home.
My dad's last 61 and 263s had the twin 4s on it with the WCFB. Did we ever knock that down? What is the WCFB? Because I heard it addressed as a white cast 4-barrel.
William Carter 4-barrel. That's how I read it in one of my carburetor books.
Because I had a Corvette guy that knows this guy, Ray. You'd love to meet him. He's so good. You can hand him a screw, literally out of a Corvette, and he can damn near tell you what year and where it came from.
That's crazy.
That's all that Lewis. That's all this guy has done since the 70s. Is Corvettes. His Corvettes. So. But
there's a lot of old school guys out there like that.
I hate to tell you, but I do similar things. If I look through my junk piles, I could look through a can or a Brian does it too, and I could tell you what the stuff is from. It's scary.
Hey, let your wife ask you where the candles are.
No, no idea.
Ray, that's what I was going through when I was packing up to move. I'd grab a box and I'd look at it, and it's like I remember exactly what I was doing, where it was, where did the stuff come from. I'm like, crap.
Right.
I mean, hell, well, Jim, you're laughing. I consulted with the wizard Ray there, and I tossed probably 4 or 5 late '60s Q jets that were probably worth $400 or $500 a piece. I tossed them. I got no use for them.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with them?
I just looked it up again, and they are saying WCFB stands for Will Carter 4-barrel. Because it was Carter. It was Carter.
Yep.
Before it was.
And the crazy thing is, people go, "Oh, it's a Holly pattern." No, it's not.
It's not as right.
The bolt. It looks like a 4-barrel, like a 4150 type base, but it's not. It's smaller.
A lot smaller. Yeah.
But the smaller Venturis increase the velocity. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like I said, they were about 450 CFM.
283s, 327, stuff like that, you know.
Just so, where are we here? Let's see, where are we?
What happened to Justin?
This is a WCFB. That's what they look like. It's kind of very square up on top, and there's that tag. Of course, you got to have the tag. So, nope. Let's get out.
The ones I've seen on the vets looked a little different than that, right?
This one is.
That's saying for a Buick.
Also, this you see this weight down here at the bottom. That's very. This one's been ultrasonically cleaned and dichromated, so it's all cleaned up. But yeah, that weight on the throttle linkage is indigenous. That's something, and kind of that the square inset inside the round air horn housing is also a good way to tell.
The ones I always saw had looked like 4 from each corner, almost like a bowl vent with a slash cut that all angled towards the center of the carburetor.
Okay, might be a different year.
Well, those were the ones I always saw in the vets. So again, I don't know because I'm just I have to look that up if it was a different. But it was they all addressed them as the WCFB, and now they were on the twin 4 vets, as you were saying.
Right. Well, these. Okay, the one I pulled up was a 55 and 6 Buick. Let's see now. Let's see if we can see a.
Did you see the price?
I didn't.
Yeah, $800.
$700.
Yeah, well, because you just don't see them anymore.
Yeah.
You just don't see them.
Well, also reading through, they do quite a bit of work.
What's that, Jim?
If you go through the list of all the things they do a lot to them.
Yes. It's very true. Yeah.
So you're paying the money, but at least you're getting something good.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I have one of these on the white Nomad. The 55 Nomad has a WCFB on it. And, I mean, I had rebuilt it 100 years ago, and I don't know, it probably doesn't run anymore, but it did. Used to. Yeah, it was a good running carburetor. Like I said, it was just your average 4-barrel, and, when they put 2 of them on the motor, they got some, they didn't have the performance because they had a different cam profile and all. But, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I had to go in. I'm losing the garage space that I had. I still have it, but I'm losing it because the house is getting sold. So I had to start emptying it out. And I did take my 4 original Impala wheels and tires out and stacked them in one of my sheds today, along with 4 Fiat wheels and tires that I would love to sell. But I know I had some ham units, the center section from the rear end. I thought I had 2 of them over there for a 55 Chevy, along with a set of axles. No, I have 4 of them.
Oh, God.
So now I got to take those out, and those things are heavy as hell. It's like, oh, what am I going to do with these things? I had one of those, Brian, one of the brown Kennedy toolboxes. And I have my Mazda in that garage right now. So I just opened the trunk. I threw it in the trunk, closed it. I said, okay, took care of that.
That's what you get for moving, Ray.
Oh, well, I mean, that's secondary because I would be losing the garage either way. It's a rental garage. So, right. And on purpose, I didn't put a lot in there over the years. I was very careful. Like I said, all my Impala wheels were there, the Fiat wheels. I had a couple of tires, spare tires without rims. I actually put those on the curb tonight, see if the garbage men take them. And I had a heater box and blower motor assembly for a 55 Chevy. So I took that home. I was just going to throw it out. I said, I'm just throwing it out. And I said, wait a minute, there's a heater core in there. So I got my screwdriver, split the case, I took the heater core out because I can at least scrap that with the other radiators I have. It's a good looking heater core. It's really very thick. Very thick.
It's probably better than what you can buy today for it.
Yeah, it's copper. I mean, I don't know if it'll hold pressure, but it's got scrap value. So, Oh yeah.
You have room for a trailer at your house?
No.
Oh, use it because you can use that as a shed.
Oh,
Put all your crap in the trailer, and then when you go to move, just take the whole trailer. Unload it again.
I know. When we went to Indiana a couple of years ago to pick up that 59 Brookwood wagon, my friend needed a trailer, so he just bought one. He bought it's got a dually axle on it. I think, what length do they start putting dualies on? It's got to be over 30 feet.
Probably 14, I think.
It's a lot bigger than that. But he brought that home, and he parked it next to his garage, and he says, you know what? I'll make a shed out of it. He goes, I don't care. I'll just, I'll just marry it up to the garage and make a shed out of it if I have to.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Great.
Yeah, that's why I traded a guy a car for. He goes, I have this trailer, and I had this car that was worth almost nothing. I go, yeah, sure. Does it leak? He goes, no. I'm like, all right, I'll trade you a car for the trailer. And I just put all my crap in there. I got wheels, all my extra parts that I don't want to look at, that I know I'm not going to touch for years. Just shoved in that trailer.
Well, that's the problem. And then it becomes.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you.
The catch-all for all kinds. Yeah, look at my office.
Yep. Well, look at all of us. Yeah. I mean, believe me, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
Ray,
Don't take long to fill it up.
Yeah.
Ray, when you go to move, do the pods.
Jeep and Al just moved, and he sent me a text. And he was telling me, "Don't do pods. They screwed everything up on me." So I guess it's all subjective. I don't know. Maybe he just got a bad guy.
I don't know. When my good friend there, when his father passed away in California, and he's here in Savannah, they flew out there, and that's same thing. Well, actually, if you remember back when KJ was on the show and we were talking about Benny and some other stuff, Ben Alameda and all that. They went through Charlie's garage because there was stuff for flatheads, there was stuff for early Hemis, 392 Hemis, and I mean, so a lot of this stuff, his son wasn't going to use, so he cut as much of that stuff loose in California, and then the stuff that was coming back, they put it in the pods and sent it. And then they packed up a motorhome and.
How big is that?
Oh, jeez.
Because that's how big. That's the trail report.
That's a triple.
That's
triple
a good
axle.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is a triple axle. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had the wagon in that. We had the.
Probably 30.
That's every bit of. To me, it looks every bit of 40 foot.
Another chassis. We had that thing.
38 maybe.
We had it packed.
Maybe a 38 foot or something like that. I'm not up on my.
You had a whole wagon and another chassis in there, probably.
And we had the engine. We had we had a ton of shit. Let's see. It's probably easy to see it in his driveway before we left. Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say 38 or 40 foot, something like that.
I would guess about 40, yeah. And we towed that damn thing to Indiana. Well, we did have a Jeep an old Jeep bed in the back that we had to deliver that. We picked that up in Jersey and dropped it off. Oh no, I'm sorry, that did come back with us. We had to pick it up and it came back with us. So we did have that in there for weight. But with this was his brother-in-law's brand new GMC pickup, the diesel. That thing, man, didn't miss a beat. It didn't miss a beat. It was smooth as silk. You didn't even know that trailer was on there most of the time.
It's a good truck.
Right up to the time you make the payment every month.
Yeah, smooth,
our shop trucks like that, man. You don't know there's a trailer back there. Loaded, unloaded, it don't care.
I mean, and he was lucky because he found a guy who had bought that trailer and then now didn't have use for it, but really didn't have a place to store it. So he pretty much stole it. You know, he got a really super good deal, and you know, he got real lucky.
Ray, do you have any update on that Parkwood project?
On which project?
The station wagon you picked up with that trailer.
Oh, that's the the update is he's gonna get it. We're gonna get into it for a while. He wants to get it out of that trailer because it's still in the trailer, and he wants to winch it up into his garage. Wants to winch the body up because what he did is he found a company that makes the chassis. They're in Tennessee, and he says to me, he goes, "Oh, well, get ready. We got the next trip coming up. We got to go to Tennessee." I'm like, "What for?" He goes, "We're going to buy this chassis and bring it back." I'm like, "Okay." So he just I think I have a picture of that. He decided it was cheaper to buy a fully done, built chassis with everything, with brake, suspension, and everything, than to go and reinvent the wheel.
Yep, he's right.
Oh, true.
So this actually isn't the one that we're getting, but it's the same idea. Like this. So
wow,
fully braced. It's going to have an IRS in the back. Full coilover suspension in the front, ready for any wheel tire combination, brakes, the whole bit. And this will replace the X chassis.
That's a Roadster shop chassis, isn't it?
This may be
that one.
This
that
might
one,
be.
I think that one is.
Now, this one, but now we found this guy in Tennessee who used to work for one of the big chassis companies. And
Scott's
now,
Hot Rods.
Yes, and that's where we're going. We're going to Scott's Hot Rods.
I'll send you something to give him.
Okay.
When you meet him.
So that's now. I don't know. He's gonna be stepping on my life here because he said that was going to be January. January is when my daughter's supposed to be delivering her baby. So that's going to take precedent. I'm going to be in North Carolina before I'm in Tennessee. But then again, North Carolina ain't that far from Tennessee.
I've been there.
Yeah, I think his name is was it Justin Scott? I think's the name.
Okay, I don't know. Conversations with him, and they were talking price and everything. I mean, I think it's safe to say he's going. It's like in the 30 grand range. But he worked it out and said, well, if I had the original chassis, I mean, he has two chassis he got with the car. One of them already has a Corvette suspension in the front, and the guy was putting the IRS in the back out of an 06 GTO, and he gave him the rear, the GTO rear, and he already had it mocked up. It wasn't final fit, and the Corvette stuff is in the front, but that's on an X chassis, and then he gave him another X chassis that the body's on that was all original as a roller. So he's saying, I could go with that, but do I really want the X chassis? I said, well, you could do outside bracing and all of that. He says, yeah. Then he started shopping. And he says, you know what? By the time I'm done, I don't know how much I'm going to have into the modifications. 30 grand, and this thing is done, ready to go. Just bolt your brakes and wheels on it. And I think sometimes they even will put brakes on it for you if you want. And he's just looking at it like it's probably just shortcutting the whole process of just going with the complete chassis.
It'll be done faster too.
It doesn't suck.
Yeah, I can't disagree with him.
So we got our guy with the 62 Corvette I'm working on. He bought a whole Art Morrison chassis.
Yeah.
Set up big brakes, IRS, the entire deal.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? Now it's done.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. It's under warranty.
It's all new metal. It's safe. It's engineered well. Right. You have everything
Yep.
built in. Yeah. I mean, it's more money, but you're gonna spend the money anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna cost cut, you might as well. You're building the wrong car, you know. I mean, and this is cool because it's it's a two-door wagon, so it's gonna be you don't see too many of those 59s.
No, you don't.
Yeah, it's really cool, and he's got this 63 Lincoln that I was talking to Lewis about earlier. He wants to bring it up to Gillen Interiors. It's a 63 convertible, so it's a suicide door convertible, which is really cool. And he just did a brake conversion on that and some motor work, and now he wants to have some interior stuff done. So yeah.
But all these projects, is he related to Terry?
No, you would. No, you would think, right? I know.
Jeez.
And it's funny because when he grew up in San Diego and he worked at a Mazda dealership. Now this guy, he's 6'9". This guy, I mean, he's a big guy, and I know he worked on Mazdas back when he was a kid, and then he moved out here, and he ended up getting an IT degree. He was one of our IT guys at the college, and he's very smart. He's just a smart guy. He owned apartment buildings. He's got a great business sense. And we would always talk cars, and he'd always be picking my brain. Says, "Yeah, I want to get back into that again. I want to." That's the guy, Brian, that got me that deal on those Mac ratchets that time. That started my Mac saga. But so now he's back into working on the cars again. He just called me today, running some stuff by me. He says, I gave him the answers. He says, "Man, that's why I love talking to you." He goes, "You always have an answer." I said, "Well, I'll always have an answer." I said, "You may not want to hear it.
You're right. Yeah.
You may not be right."
That'd be the right one.
I said, "And there may be 5 other answers, but I'll always have something for you." So he's getting back into it, and I can see that he feels good revisiting like his youth. He worked on cars when he was younger. Now he's doing it again. He's in his 50s, and he feels good. And I said, "That's great, beautiful, man." Plus it doesn't help that he has the money.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah. No, it doesn't hurt.
All right, guys, I'm going to bail out of here.
All right, Jim.
Oh, Jim.
Have a good week,
Take care,
man.
guys. See y'all next week.
All right.
See you, Jim.
What?
So I think Lewis will be interested in this. I talked my wife into getting some solar. I wanted to get the solar for the whole house. She's like, "I don't want to do that. I don't want to put anything on the roof anyway." But I'm like, I can put an array in the backyard.
Right.
I don't want to do that. She goes, "Why don't you?" And I already thought about this, but I didn't say anything. Better if it's her idea. She goes, "Why don't you get solar on the shop?" Because I was complaining about the electric bills too much money. Like electric is too high.
Right.
And she goes, "Why don't you get solar for the shop?" I go, "That's a good idea." So then I started looking into stuff. And Signature Solar has probably whatever I need. But I have, it's a metal building, the shop. So I can either put it on the roof. The other thing I thought of was getting because I got like parking spots in front of the shop.
Carport.
Getting one like a carport. I think I might do that because it's about the almost carport would be a little more expensive than putting it on my roof. But then I get the extra shade.
What's the weight load, Keith?
I don't know. I just started looking into it this week. I was like, "Oh, this might be a good idea." So
Yeah,
I don't mean.
Signature
I need to
Solar
look for.
kit for carports.
Yep, I need to look for wind. For hurricanes. So I need like over 100 plus wind resistance.
Well, that's in the graphics.
Those things can become sails.
Yeah.
But it's in the mounting hardware is where you get the mount with the air and stuff. But Signature Solar sells it all. Let me know before you buy it. I might be able to get you a discount.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And I'm like that might work. I just have to go take measurements and stuff like that. The only thing I don't like is if I can make it wide. I can make it wide enough because my shop has, I think it's a 16-foot door and then like an 8-foot door, and I can make it that wide. That's about 2 cars, and I want it high so I can park the RV under it.
Now you don't have to go with their system for carport. You can build your own and then put the panels on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was thinking of just going to a metal carport place and say, "Just give me the frame. Just build me a frame,
Yeah.
They could make whatever size frame, right? And then they could probably do it for the wind shear or whatever they need to do.
Yeah.
And then but then I would have to figure out how do I get the panels. I probably could just tell the carport people put the beams however far apart, right?
Right. So what you do is you once you have your frame up and everything, you can run parallel the racking system that holds the panel.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
The panels on around. Yeah.
Yeah. You put those on top of the racking system that bolts to your frame. So like I said, you can build a wood frame or any kind of frame, whatever you want to do, and then mount the solar stuff on top of that.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna be like Jim. Like I said, I got a boogie in the morning to Charlotte and back. So I will. Great seeing everybody, and we will see you next week.
Say hello to Charlotte.
Be careful out there.
I will find that stuff and send it to you. I was just digging through my phone. I can't find it, but I know I'll send you the link that I was telling you about.
Okay, cool.
Truck. So, guys, be safe. Have a good day.
Have a good trip.
I'll do.
Yeah, I saw this guy on YouTube that does all solar panel stuff, and he got the kit. I think it was from Signature Solar. It starts with a C, whatever their kit is called. And it's got one car, two. I think it goes up to four. One to four. What the heck was this guy's name? I gotta look at my history. But he had it like on cement pillars. He had cement pillars, then he had the steel square tubing on top, and then I'm like, I don't want a big cement pillar right on my, on my.
Oh, you know what that is? That's a wheel press.
Will somebody. Yeah.
Well, he has a compound, so that's why he has those big.
Yeah, I know. I've got like
Yeah, he's no joke though, man. He knows his stuff.
Yeah. He gets the information out there real quick, and I mean, I kind of like how he does it.
Yeah, he tests everything.
What was his name?
Starts with a P.
Power?
Yeah,
Will Power. What? Oh, Will Prowse.
Power?
No, Will Prowse. No, Will Prowse. Off-grid solar power. Yeah. Yeah. So he's got solar. Yeah. So so much information. I'm just like, freaking no. But
yeah, he's a good source.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
But so then he has, I think it was a 3-foot, looked like he got one of those big cement, the cardboard thing that you fill with cement, and they put rebar and all that kind of stuff in there, and they mounted that.
Here's like a canopy for somebody's backyard. So you can build any kind of framing.
Yeah.
With carport and then put the panels on top.
Yep. Yeah. I just want to make sure it's rated for the wind. I want to make sure the wind, a hurricane comes in, I can make it a kite.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think I'm going to, and then I'll worry about the rest of power, all the other stuff. And I can just disconnect. This is my plan. Disconnect the shop from shore power, I guess, and then just run it. Just have the thing run. AC and all the stuff run off there.
Do you have mini splits in there?
No. I have a old, I don't even know what brand, but like a regular AC system sitting in there.
Because they also sell the mini splits that runs off solar too. You can hook up.
Yeah. When that system goes, I'm gonna put mini splits in there. I got that thing free like 10 years ago. And then I just had to pay to put it in, and I was like, all right, free is for me, but it.
Well, let me know before you order, because I might be able to get some discount codes and stuff.
Yeah, I think I might give them a call and talk to them and tell them what I want to do and blah blah blah.
They are a great company with tech, man. When I was doing mine, I was on the phone for an hour, 2 hours. It's a whole bunch of questions, and they answer everything, and then they even text me and emailed me graphs and wire and diagram, just everything. It's a good company, man. It really is.
They were just hoping to confuse you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buy this and this and this.
Yeah. So let me switch gears here a little bit. We'll go from solar panels and ACs down to automotive thermostats. Justin, have you guys used, or has anybody else used what they call a full flow thermostat, like oh damn, I just got Clay Smith in my head, and that's not the right name. Bob Drake? No. Shit. Anyway, I bought a full flow thermostat for my car, and what it is the body, instead of the pintle in the middle moving up and down, the whole brass body around the bottom opens up, and there's 3 huge windows on top. And if you have a high flow water pump like I'm using, they recommend that. So the one I used to, what's up?
I used to, or in the Mustang, I ran for years the Moroso discs.
Okay, yeah, they were popular back in the day. So the one I had was a 195, and of course, my whole thing is how to get the engine on and cooler. So I bought another one of those thermostats, and I said, give me the one that's rated at 160. Now they're not marked, but what I did is I did the same thing with the new one that I did with the one in my car. I put it in a Pyrex beaker, I put it on a hot plate, and I put a thermocouple in it and watch the watch the digital meter and see when the thing opens. And the one that was rated at 160 fully opened at 195, almost 200 degrees. I'm like, send that back to Summit. So now I bought a Mr. Gasket version, and it is marked 160. I got it today, so it's sitting on my kitchen table because tomorrow morning after I make my coffee, I'm gonna boil the water on the stove and check the opening temperature. But so I was wondering if anybody else if anybody else even goes to that level. I don't know. I didn't think so.
I can't say I have.
No. I stand alone again.
I haven't put a thermostat in a car in so long, I almost forgot what they looked like.
In your case, frozen opened.
Yeah, I have to do one on my Jeep. My Jeep sent a code saying that the thermostat.
Okay, so on modern vehicles, Lewis, like even the Cruise, it's all plastic. And the Cruise is an electronic thermostat. There's a plug that goes on that damn thing because they preheat it. The ECU preheats the thermostat to open it faster to, promote, to get engine temperature where they want it. So thermostats of today are not the thermostats of yesterday. So beware the price the part. What's that, Brian?
Just run this. I mean, I never had a problem with the disc.
Yeah.
They came with 4 different sizes.
Yeah.
And it was on the whole size.
Right. Yeah. We'll see. I'm curious. I'll check this thing in the morning and see what it does. And there we go. So I don't know.
And I think that thermostat is throwing my another code on the Jeep for the boosted. What do you call it? What's usually goes the sensor on the.
You talking about the water temp sensor?
No, the on the exhaust pipe.
The O2 sensor.
O2, yeah. So I think that's part of. I got to check engine light, and that's what came up: the O2 sensor and the thermostat.
Separate things, yeah. Separate things. Again, that's where mode 6 comes in. Brian, since I talked about that on the show last week and did my whole speech, I actually went out to my FJ with the scanners. I said, let me look at this thing. Let me look at mode 6 data with this thing. And I saw that everything is, that truck doesn't have a code in it. Everything is clean as a whistle. But I did look at the CAT efficiency and the O2s, and they're getting a little closer to the threshold. If it was like 0.2995, they give you like a 6-digit number for the threshold. So say it was just like 0.2956. I'm at like 0.32. So I'm getting closer. They're getting closer. And that's one of the things mode 6 is good for. Guys can look at that data and say, okay, the O2s are good, the CAT is good, but I'm seeing that they have wear because the thresholds are getting closer. So
why don't you just move the O2 sensor out?
Right. That's one way of doing it. In fact, I just went through that with the auto parts store. I can't talk about it online though because it's a legal issue. So I don't want your guys coming up and grabbing me. It's unless it's for a party. That kind of party I don't want to go to. So we'll talk about that later. But no, even like with the O2s, they get worn. They do wear. They have a life. They have a life expectancy, and they go bad. That's not a big thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just knowing, that, like I tell people all the time, like what caused the O2 to trip? Was it a bad cat, or was it air intrusion, or what? And that's when you got to know that's the real basis of diagnostics, knowing what caused something to happen, not just saying, oh, it's an O2 code, put an O2 in it.
Well, that was like, if I'm allowed to tell a story, that was the end of my. That what pushed me over the edge when I was at the dealer.
Oh yeah,
because we had a new guy. A new guy came in, and he came fresh out of school, and they still do. They have like these. They called it different things throughout the year, but basically, you were gone for 6 weeks, and you just get crammed all this information.
Oh yeah.
And then to pay for it, dealerships would put a bid for you if you want. They give you an offer, and if you come to work, and they'd sign a contract of some sort. You'd work 2 years at X amount, and a certain amount of money would go to pay for your school.
Right.
So I get this. The shop, the general manager dude comes out and says, "Oh, we got this really great guy, diagnostic. He's in the top 3%, blah blah blah." And I'm like, I said, "That's great." I said, "But the problem is, at school, they only teach you the new car. They don't teach you anything with the old car. So he has no experience."
Right.
Working on the older cars. So he comes in, and of course I get this, "Hey B, keep an eye on him." I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not here to babysit.
Yeah.
Now you are.
So, and I tell this guy, I said, "Hey, look, dude, we all kind of work together. There's only at the time, there was only 2 of us in the Porsche side,
Yeah.
And I said, I don't care what time it is, when you're leaving, but you will, if there's a car sitting out there, you have to bring it in and put it on the rack. Because when the bean counter leaves at night and he sees a car sitting out there, he's going to say, oh, we need to hire another guy. And I said, we don't have the work for really 3 people.
Yeah.
And we don't need a 4th. So I walked into parts one day, and the parts guy goes, "Hey, B, the new guy got 402 sensors." And I said, "Okay." So I walk out there. I said, "Hey, man, what's going on?" "Nothing." I said, 402 sensors? I said, "What's going on? I mean, did you check?" "I know what I'm doing."
No. There's the gauntlet.
"All right, dude. You're good."
You're on your own.
So, of course, this guy left right at 5 o'clock. There was no ands, ifs, or buts. 5 o'clock, he was walking out the door.
Yeah.
So as we're sitting there, the front door, this is, 4:59. The front door is opening up, and the Boxster's coming in the shop, and it's got the general director in there, and he's like, "Hey, B, we put 402 sensors." I said, whoa, time out, cowboy. I said, go get your ace master tech over there.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, it's 5. I leave. I'm not." And he walked on the door, got in the car, and he goes, "Man, you got to take care of this. This guy's pissed." I'm like, okay. Well, of course, it triggered an O2 sensor, but instead of reading the scanner, it just points you in a direction to go. It doesn't.
Right.
It's not really telling you what's wrong. I mean, it could be a bad, but you had to test it.
Right.
Well, it was going out of its threshold, trying to lean the car out,
right?
Because the owner put a K&N air filter in.
Okay.
And when he sprayed the oil got on the hot wire, and the hot wire was dirty, so it was giving a false mixture, and it was trying to lean itself out.
Right.
So, of course, here it is leaning out, went past its threshold. Well, what's the first thing that's going to trigger that? It's the O2 sensors, because it's bleeding the exhaust. And so I fixed it. And at the time, Jenny, my wife, we were dating at the time. She was in warranty. She was a warranty clerk, and at night she was a night cashier. So I told her. She said, "Hey, what's wrong?" And I was fired up because I fixed it and I got paid for it, but there was no ticket on it. It was in house. It was just one of these in house deals. And I said, "Here's the VIN number to that car. I want to know what they do with his ticket." Because they never told him. They never said what was wrong. They never corrected. They never did thing. So back then we had little bat phones at our toolbox, phones. And she calls me up and says, "I got that ticket on my desk." And I said, "Okay." I said, "What are they doing?" And they said, "Well, they're going to eat it. They're going to go in-house. They're paying him and eating the parts."
Wow.
And I said, "All right, unlock the back door and go to the little girl's room for a minute." So I come around. Of course, this is all before cell phones and pictures. So I go over to the Xerox machine, I'm running the RO and the copy and the whole 9 yards, and I put it all on my little pad of paper. And unfortunately, if you all can believe it or not, the dealership knew when I was upset.
I can't imagine. How would they know?
There was no hiding that. When I was upset, they knew it. So I go right into the owner's office. Desk. Owner's office, and the general manager was there, and I called in the service manager, and I just laid it out, and I said, "I don't want to hear any more BS about how you can't pay me any more money, and we're not making any money when you eat 402 sensors and you paid the guy and never told him what he did wrong so he would never learn."
Yeah.
And I said, so for that reason, you got my 1 month. I'm out of here in 1 month. And they were like, "Now calm down, Brian. It's okay." Blah, blah, blah. And they said they're going to kick me a little extra money and blah, blah, blah. And I just told them, I said, "No, I'm tired. I'm tired. Every time I come in for my annual review, you love me. You love me. And I take care of everything. But when it comes to money, you can't pay me any more money."
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm out of here in a month." Of course, they said, "Why a month?" I said, "Well, I got 2 transmissions and 3 convertibles out there. I'm waiting for parts. I want to finish,
Right.
And so, of course, the time came. A month came by, and on the day, and it was kind of funny. The general manager, he walks by and goes, "You're not dressed. What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm waiting for my dad with the U-Haul truck because I'm moving my shit out of here."
My toolbox.
It's end of the month. He goes, "Well, wait a minute. We need to talk." I said, "We don't need to talk about anything.
Good deal.
I'm out of here." So that was it. That was, and then unfortunately, or oddly enough, that guy, they had a few more issues, and that guy ended up about a month and a half later leaving, and
became a shoe salesman.
I don't know. He said he was a guy. He lived, I think, in someplace down south. I don't know if it was Florida or Georgia, but he said that was another thing. He said he was homesick. He said moving up to Maryland and not knowing anybody and blah blah blah.
Right.
But that was, like I said, that was I had lost it. That was my day.
I got to say that is probably the most number one misconception in automotive today. I hear it all the time. Brian, I'm sure you hear it 300 times a day. Where, I need a really good scanner because, I needed to fix the car. I needed to know how to fix the car. And I say, yeah, well, there's a missing link there. It's like, disseminating the data and then deciding what the repair is. And, oh, no, the scanner tells me. And, that's the thing. Even with my Blue Driver dongle that I have, that brings up, repair procedures. What's the word I'm looking for? Because it's the same terminology Snap-on uses. It's the most common suggested repairs, but there's a term, and the Blue Driver brings that up. And in my case with the Cruise, it showed it in a graph. It showed like a big high hump, and then it comes down, and it, like most common was the catalytic converter. That happens to be correct. That is correct. That is what the most common fix is. And then they let you input your own if you have other information, so that's how they build their database, which is good. And then this thing gives you links to Amazon to buy the parts.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, this is like, I was telling Chris, I said, if you're looking for another scanner, I said, this thing, especially for what you're doing, and I mean,
is it bi-directional?
No, it's not bi-directional, but it does give you mode 6.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do TPMS, and it doesn't do airbag stuff. It doesn't have all the intricacy stuff, but just as a scanner for diagnostics, it is very good. Mine was I think when my kids got it for me for my birthday, so it was about $100. It took me to a link on Amazon. So they were selling it on Amazon for $74.
Yeah, right now it's $80.
Shit.
Yeah.
And then if you go to their site, it's like $114 or whatever. Repair Solutions, I think they call that stuff. So
well, that's like our newest line, or into our Max 5, Max Pro, because you can get that onto your phone.
Right.
That's all Android based, and you can get in. But again, I deal with it all the time. I hate selling scanners that way, because I sell a scanner and it never fails. The next week, hey man, I think there's something wrong with the scanner. Well,
right.
What do you mean there's something wrong with the scanner? Well, I had this car and the check engine light was on, and it told me, it was a O2 sensor. So I replaced the O2 sensor, and I still have the problem.
Right.
And I'm like, well, you need to check it out.
Right.
I mean, it's going to send you in the direction, but it was, did you see what your fuel trim was? Did you see, you got to, well, I just want the thing to tell me what's wrong. Well,
right.
That's not going to happen.
Right.
So.
The mechanic that I use here in town has not been able to find anybody to work for him because they don't know how to diagnose anything.
Yeah.
They can do a scanner, but they don't know how to diagnose. And he was wanting somebody who knew how to do diagnostic.
Sure. Sure.
And really, today, and this has probably been for a little bit of time, but today it is so much easier to diagnose versus 15 years ago, because they didn't have the information wasn't out there. And now, like I said, these scanners now, will tell you right. Our scanner will break it right down. You click on it, it goes right there, and it shows you step 1 to step 42, or how many steps there are and what to go through. The problem is the guy still scrolls to the very end and says, "Oh, it's this," and puts that on. They still want to take the extra. I mean, I it's like I said, when I was a tech, I gave everything 15 minutes. If you couldn't figure it out, you shouldn't be working on cars.
I think the perfect case in point is Lewis and Cross. They diagnosed it. Said the injector is bad. We'll change the injector. Well, in a way that was kind of correct. The injector wasn't firing, but it wasn't an injector; it was the wiring. And we know that's the other end. That's the back end of that deal.
Yeah.
And so they were in the right church, just had the wrong pew.
But that's also, like I said, that's why Ford, when you, because I had the same with the 6.0. With the 6.0, we had I had injector codes, and it was funny because I printed it out. I had the scanner, brought it up, printed it out, and they're talking about getting your meter out, you're testing this, checking that, blah blah blah. But in the middle of step 4, part AB was the wiggle test.
Right, Ford's wiggle test, yes.
And some guys, unfortunately, and I don't want to. I'm not here to bash anybody, but unfortunately, a lot of these technicians or mechanics or just parts changers, they're under the pressure of somebody saying, "We gotta get this car done. This has got to be done. I got another car. We got to bring it." So these guys came and it used to irritate the hell out of me because they were saying, "You're not done yet," and I said, "Dude, I need to check this out." Way back in the day when the parts weren't $1 million, then you could kind of like throw some parts on the car and hope you got it right in the first 2 because it didn't have a cost. But today, you take something and it's a fucking arm and a leg. It's nothing cheap.
Right.
And but like I said, when that's why I don't like that suggestive this is wrong, even though I know it's mathematical, and it's almost like as bad as watching Monday Night Football and they get down into 4th and 3 and they're on the 20 and they take the analytics of plays.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, well, he should have gone for it because, the analytics say you have this much percentage."
Well, they go by the percentage, yeah.
And, that doesn't really mean anything all the time, but, unfortunately.
No, but a percentage of data that's already gathered is real as opposed to speculation. Speculation is a guess.
Yeah.
So,
of course, I always tell them you don't have the luck of the Irish like I do, and you're going to get fucked anyway. So it doesn't matter. So
there you go.
I was always the guy that I couldn't skip over the Force 4 issues. I had to check that stupid wire all the way in the back.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. So I found 2 things out. I just found out that carburetor is like he said, 49 to 50 Oldsmobile. They call it a Rochester AA backdraft carburetor. And I just found one on a site, this Carburetor Center, which is a pretty good site.
Is it yeah, I found that one too.
Yeah, I've used that site before.
In a private chat.
And there it is.
Yep.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump off.
All right, Lewis.
Hey, Lewis.
Hey, Lewis.
All right, see you guys next week. I'm trying to get Harry from Hot Rods or Studio Hot Rods on, so
okay,
we can get him next week.
Cool, very good.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night.
Okay. So I got to show you this too. You look at this. This is one of the coolest cards you've ever seen in your life. Justin,
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
55 Chevy speedometer, and the face of it is all cracked. So the thing on the words on the bottom says it's not about the mileage. It's which is true. It's,
what is that, birthday card? Was it your birthday?
Yeah, it's not about the mileage, it's about the journey. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
So all right, so here's my daughter's humor. She's expecting a baby. So this is what she sends me.
My diaper bag, I'm going to I'm gonna get that for my
little baby onesie. And then there's another one.
Yep.
Nice.
So we'll see.
Where'd she get those? I need to go pick some of those up.
I'll have to ask her. I don't know because she sent them to me, so I know I got to give them back to her. So
yeah, no,
yeah, you're not wearing those.
I don't think those fit you. What's going on?
I actually did. I took one. I put one on each arm, and I held my arms out.
Oh, that's what the picture was. All right.
Yeah. I was wearing one on each arm. Yeah. Exactly. So
I got my granddaughter one that says from Cletus McFarland. It says fresh unit.
Oh, there you go. Cool. Very
She hasn't
cool.
worn it yet, though. I don't know what's going on, but anyway.
All right. Let's end this live stream. It's 10:45. Since Lewis didn't do it, I'll say I like that. You know what? Holy shit. That was Justin. I didn't see that. Now I minimize my screen. WCFB White Castle famous burger. That is fucking perfect.
I wasn't sure. I was just guessing.
You got White Castle up by you, right?
Oh yeah.
Not everybody does. We do here. We've had them here since I'm a kid, man. I love my White Castle. But
yeah, we finally lost one a couple of years ago.
Did you?
Never seen one.
We have one in Orlando. When I go out that way, I went there twice.
Well, that's the big one. That's the one they just put down there. The huge one that John was trying to go to, but couldn't even get into.
There's one.
It's huge, but
every time we go to PRI, there's one that's real close to our hotel.
Nice. Get a good shake. Yeah, nice, good stuff.
And we never stop there though.
Oh,
there's a little blues bar that we always go to for dinner and drinks.
Right.
That's pretty on
probably,
point.
All right.
It's probably better than White Castle.
Well, yeah, you go with what you know, and yeah. Like there's a place down in Charlotte I go to. It's called Whiskey Warehouse, which is phenomenal. I mean, they have great drinks, got a great kitchen, burgers. I mean, it's great bar food. You can just live there, But speaking of living there, we'll be living back here again next week. We're gonna end the live for tonight because Lewis is gone, and we'll keep his bandwidth down. So for all the boys, Pop Squirrel, Justin, for Keith, Brian, Ray, B, Vince, who's gone, Jim, who left, Lewis, be back. We'll be back next week with maybe a guest. If not, on Sunday. We may have a guest there too. Bye. All right.